record here. All right. So thank you for joining our idea session for MailChimp. This is our weekly office hours session, and we have another special guest today. And so, as usual, just a couple of housekeeping tips. If you have any questions, use the Q&A option in Zoom, and we'll be tracking any questions for our panelists. If you have questions about MailChimp and the Ideas program, you can submit them there too. But just put them in the Q&A so that we can keep track of that. And of course, you can also leverage the chat. But that's all the housekeeping I have. We will be recording this, and I will post the recording in the Ideas Hub. We'll have a collection of these recordings there. So continue to check out every week after the event. You can go back and circle back on this presentation and get any questions that you might have overlooked. You can go and rewatch it on demand. But before that, I would like to pass it along to the partner development manager for this partner to properly introduce this partner, to give us a little bit of background and how you can work with this partner after the presentation as well. So, William, I will pass it along to you to provide the introductions and then ideas, folks. Enjoy the presentation, and I hope you learn a lot.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm William Howard here on the MailChimp Partner Development Team, and is really excited to introduce Rami, founder and CEO of Dignotion. They're an agency focused on B2B marketing, e-commerce, and have a really strong relationship with MailChimp. And they've been using the platform for over 10 years. So really excited to pass the torch on to him, and he could take it away. I'll mute myself and be here if you need me. Thank you.
Thank you, William. Thank you, Jocelyn. Hi, I'm Rami Armia, as William mentioned, the founder and CEO of Dignotion. We're a marketing firm based in New York with another hub in Europe. And we've been working very closely with MailChimp, along with integrating them on other platforms and doing all kind of integrations also with e-commerce. And I think this topic is very interesting for many of you here in the crowd, which I understand is very diverse, because account-based marketing, which is something that usually is told about on the B2B side, maybe enterprise level, sounds sometimes a bit far away for some businesses, but I will actually try to show you that it's pretty approachable and maybe demystify some of the terms for you. And happy to answer any questions you'll have later on. So quickly, what we'll cover today, we'll talk about understanding what ABM is, what account-based marketing is, identify and prioritize target accounts, what it means as well, and how to do that exercise, how to personalize content and engagement, and how that all ties back together to the offering that you have on the MailChimp platform. And next, we'll talk about resources and if you have any questions and how to actually launch your first ABM pilot. So let's talk about some ABM concepts and definitions that we can so we can have the ground set for the next sections. So ABM is, as we said, is account-based marketing. It's a strategic approach where you switch over from broadcasting your marketing to talk directly to high-value accounts, treating each one as a market of its own. And that's basically flipping over the funnel. Instead of just broadcasting, you're just targeting your marketing very narrowly. The ideal customer profile, or more, you would find it in many places called ICP, is the detailed description of the persona of the type of client that you're looking for. And usually that would be your perfect client. That would be the most high value client. It could be a company, it could be a person. It could be a person within a company that is usually your hero that brings you in to the company. But that definition goes with you all along ABM conceptualizing and processing. Then you have target accounts. Target accounts are the actual clients. So clients could be a person or a company. Usually in ABM, we discuss about companies in B2B settings, but these target accounts are the actual companies or clients that you would want to target that fit your ICP profile. And then you have personalization, which is a similar concept to what you do on MailChimp generally. But in the sense of, and in the context of ABM, personalization would be managing the messaging to be targeted for each target account. And target account could be a single account or a group of accounts. It could be a certain industry or a subset of the industry that you're targeting, and then the messaging would be personalized to them specifically. And then we have multi-channel engagement, which means basically that you're coordinating all this across multiple channels. That could be on your newsletters, on your website, on different landing pages, on social media, on retargeting, direct mail, offline activities, basically anything you do to put that messaging out there. So we touched a bit about it, but just to refine the point, what is actually ABM and why it's different from traditional marketing? If you think about traditional marketing as just broadcasting your messaging uh, just all over the place, even if it's a certain demographic or certain geographic location, you'd still broadcast all your messages. In ABM, you're turning that upside down, as we said. Instead of casting a wide net, you're taking a harpoon, if you want to use an analogy, and you try to fish for the specific fish that you're looking for. And that means that instead of going one to many, uh, which is in traditional marketing what usually is the case, you're going to one to few or one to one. And that means that you really need to be thoughtful about what you're offering. And that's the basic exercise of ABM, and that's why it's so powerful, because in the end of the day, the deliverable of ABM is a very narrowly targeted marketing material that is extremely powerful as opposed to just a generic banner or a generic newsletter that doesn't speak to that target account as much. So why ABM works, and that's a bit more to what I just discussed, is that the fact that you have a very narrowly targeted messaging means that you have a higher conversion rate possibility because the message is very targeted to that specific segment. Uh, the other thing is that you're usually going to go for your best case customers, which means higher ticket values, which means that you're putting your effort where you have the most potential for income. So I mentioned one-to-one, one-to-many, one-to-few, just to be clear on these as well. When we talk about one-to-one, it means that you're creating the most personalized messaging possible. You're creating a messaging that is specifically formulated to be a perfect proposition for that specific account or that specific client, that potential client. When you talk about one to few, you're doing the same thing, but just for a very narrow subset of clients. If we'll take a catering company, for example, one to few example would be uh, hotels that have up to 50 rooms with no kitchen. So that would be your one to few. You want to target exactly the perfect client for you. And then you have the one-to-many, which is what is usually done on traditional marketing. But in the sense of ABM, it could also be done at the end of the process by creating workflows and automations that have dynamic variables in them. And that's something that MailChimp can actually help a lot with the different components that you can add to newsletters, with the different targeting that you can do on social media, etc. But that's something that I would keep for a later stage after defining the best case scenario clients and after creating the one-to-one and one-to-few uh, messaging. So we defined all the terms, and now we'll want to look into how to do it in practice. And the first thing you need to do in order to formulate your ABM strategy is to define that ICP, that ideal customer profile. And in order to do so, you need to think about first who it is. And that could be, as you see here, for example, firmographics, which is the type of demographics just for companies. So it could be what type of industry the client is, what size, what type of revenue they have, where they are located, what type of stage they're at in their growth, and etc. Then you have technographics, which doesn't have to be technology in the sense of computer technology or cloud technology. It could also be the machinery that they're using or what type of POS system they have and what integrations they're using. And maybe there's a certain client that is perfect for you because you have a solution that works perfectly with this specific setup. And then you want to talk about the pain points and the needs of that ideal clients. What is usually their pain point and what they actually need that you would be the perfect solution for. And then once you define that and you have that firmographic, technographics, and the pain points uh, all lined out, you want to see what type of subgroups within that ideal customer profile would be the most valuable for you. In tier one, you would put the companies that are exactly what you're looking for, but also that could give you the greatest potential in terms of income. And that's really where you want to put most of your effort. The other two tiers are important, but to begin with ABM, you need to really be focused, laser focused on tier one. Tier two is accounts that have the potential to be a high value client, but are not there yet. They could be maybe an initial client that would take a small package of your solution, but would then might grow to a bigger ticket value if they see a good result with your solution or if they grow themselves. And then in tier three, you have companies that are probably not there yet. They may have the trajectory to be someday a client, but they're not there as of today. And your efforts in ABM should be in the third priority in terms of how much time and effort you give to them. But you can nurture them, and that's something else that MailChimp is really good at by different workflows, education, all kind of series, give them more messaging that is more mid top funnel, just to keep top of mind of them, but not really put all your effort there. And so if I had to give a rule of thumb, I would say tier one would have to take like 70% of your attention, then you would have 20% going to tier 2 and 10% to tier 3. That's roughly what I would see in terms of effort being split between these three tiers. So how do you select these ICPs, and how do you say, okay, this is actually important, this is not? First, you look at the data that you have, and that's actually very valuable. Many companies hold a lot of data, even if they're a small company, and they usually don't take the time to deeply analyze it. Look at your CRM, look at your list of customers, and try to find patterns. Is there a specific industry that is more prevalent than others? Maybe there's a certain segment. Maybe there's a certain person or function within the companies that you work with that is usually the point of contact or the first person to look for you. What type of company size? What revenue? What do you see as their buying intent? Meaning, where do you find them? Maybe you find them specifically in certain conferences where companies are coming at a certain stage in their life cycle. So all these signals that you can look for in your databases are extremely important. And once you start looking for the data and start slicing and dicing your list of customers, you will find some patterns. And once you find those patterns, that's when you can formulate these target accounts. And by looking at the current clients, you can also see who are similar clients that you might have based on them. And namely, that's usually the competitors of your clients. So if you have a specific, go back to the hotel example, if you have a certain hotel that is working with you for your catering company, you might look around the neighborhood or around the city and look for similar hotels that are directly competing with this one on their size and rates and target them. And that's really what you're doing in identifying these target accounts. You're looking at the data that you currently have and capitalizing on it to refine your marketing. And now we're looking into how to put it a bit more in practice. And this is where MailChimp is really, really powerful because MailChimp allows you, and that's looking at newsletters, but it's the same for text messaging and going on social media and creating landing pages. MailChimp allows you to create a lot of dynamic and customized messaging within the marketing materials that you're creating. So that could be leveraging the behaviors that they're creating, the data that you get from the website visits, for example. So if someone is looking at a certain page, that could mean that they're at a certain segment of an industry that you're targeting, and then you can message them accordingly. If someone is uh, signing up for a newsletter and you have the company category, you know where they fit within your ICP profile. If they are, then you can funnel them to that VIP ABM workflow that you're creating on MailChimp. You can share with them specific case studies that are highly relevant for them. So if it's a company in the food industry, you'll give them a case study for a similar company that you've done work with, and so on. And as I mentioned multiple times so far, MailChimp is really making it approachable to do ABM for not only enterprise clients, but also small and medium-sized businesses, because you can literally have a multi-channel, omni-channel strategy done within a single platform. So you can have your email marketings done, you can have social media posts posted all at the same time. You can have websites and landing pages that are highly targeted and customized for your segments. And you can run retargeting and paid ads, which are extremely useful. Retargeting specifically is a very, very powerful tool for ABM because you have the data on who's visiting your site. You have the data on who's visiting specific sections of your website. So you can retarget these specific subsets. And it's usually not a super expensive marketing campaign, but it does require planning. And once you do that planning, MailChimp allows you to uh, launch it fairly easy. So overall, the main themes that I'm presenting you here with ABM could be summed up in quality over quantity. Because if you followed, you see that I'm mentioning many times narrowly targeting and going after the specific niche that is your best case client. And that's a big component of ABM. The fact that you're going after quality over quantity also means that you're saving a lot of budget, marketing budget that would be spent on irrelevant or low value clients. And that's something that is extremely important for small and medium sized businesses that don't have the capacity to just uh, spend a lot of money on broad campaigns that are irrelevant to most of the audience that is going to be exposed to them. Another thing that is important to understand here is that this personalization, all these types of different messaging on newsletters, on social media, on retargeting, all these build your pipeline. This is really what's going to push clients and potential clients from being top of mind through the consideration funnel and all the way to the decision. This is really a tool that is super powerful for your business. And I believe that each business owner has to make sure that there is some kind of ABM strategy in place, even if you then go and market also on a traditional pattern manner for wider audiences. Then another thing to remember here is that there should be alignment because this is a marketing exercise, but it has to involve your sales process as well. So if you have maybe salespeople that go and meet the different leads that come through, they need to be aware of what's going on. They can also feed back some information about what they see from the clients and the leads that they're meeting. What messaging are being more receptive, what maybe can be refined, what is not fully understood in the marketing messaging. There has to be synergy and communication between sales and marketing here to really make the most of ABM. And then lastly, just like with everything in marketing, measurement and data is king, and you must make sure that everything is thoroughly measured. And in that case, you're in luck because MailChimp does that perfectly as well. MailChimp allows you to conduct A/B testings, to funnel different workflows and see how they worked out, open rates, conversions. All these can be done directly from the platform, and so that's actually a huge plus point on MailChimp as well. Now, I want to empower you to actually do something actionable out of all this. And what I would suggest is that you do a pilot. And that pilot doesn't mean that you need to spend a lot of money. You actually don't need to spend any money. Just look at the current setup that you have on MailChimp, run a narrow ICP analysis, find the absolute best case scenario client that you can have, and create a workflow just for that segment. And you can run it on mail on retargeting or on social media. You can send text, for example, but do run something. Um, that exercise would let you experiment with it, experiment with how things work on the multi-channel aspect, and it will allow you to learn by doing. It's nice to learn things in theory, but the best way to learn is actually by doing. And obviously, the MailChimp resources page on the link here, like mailchimp.com/help, is really good. Everything is very, very well documented. But having said so, obviously, we work a lot with companies that need assistance because they are busy running their business. And we've been doing this for many, many years. And so, just like other partners that MailChimp has, we are also helping businesses set up both ABM but other marketing activities on the platform, integrating it with internal systems that each business has. And so, if you need any help, we're happy to assist. And I'll answer any questions that you have. But before that, let me load the next slide. If you do have anything specific that you want to do and you want some help, uh, more than happy to schedule some one-on-one time with you. You can scan the QR code on the right. And in any case, I would love to connect with all of you on LinkedIn, and that's the QR code on the left. And now I will take any questions you have.
Thank you so much, Rami. Let's see. I think there was one question in the Q&A, but Jocelyn answered it. So, but Marlo, I guess if you're wanting to get a little bit more help about your campaigns, you throw it in the chat and see if you can we can chat with you, or we can take you off camera and you can we can answer your question live. It's just let us know. Okay, let's see. I want to take you off. You'll have a talk. Okay. Okay, you're open. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good
Yes.
morning. Yes, I just had a question about trying to convert my Canva email into the MailChimp like I've normally done for the past few months, and I'm just having a challenge of getting that converted because it's asking that stating that I need to include an unsubscribe button, but it's always been there. But it's just not letting me transition it like I usually do.
Hmm. I know we just launched a new integration-ish with Canva.
Okay.
Um, could be some bugs. I don't know, Rami or Jocelyn. I don't know if you have any experience with this just yet. I know it just launched like this week, so I don't want
Okay.
to say the wrong things, but um, we may have to circle back just so we can help you out, unless you know what's going on, or
I
Jocelyn.
can chime in here if you want.
Yeah.
Um, Marla, what campaign is that for you? And I can take a look behind the scenes if you could let me know the name of it.
Um, I think I have it named Tea Time Thursday, April the 23rd. Um, but it's actually in Canva and I'm trying to transition it over so it may not show in MailChimp. Um,
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that is what William's saying. That is what has changed.
mhm.
So let me see if I can get you the latest update on that. Let's
And
see.
even though I went in and kind of manually added that at the end of the email campaign to transfer it
Hmm.
over, it still gives me that message. So I haven't been on it for a few weeks. So I guess just coming back, like you stated, it's been updated.
Yeah, it says the integration looks at the HTML to make sure it's compliant and it'll block you publishing if the unsubscribe tag is missing from Canva. Um, let's see. Are you able to publish? I'd have to see your screen. I'll email you a link to another Zoom. I don't want to interrupt,
Okay.
but here so that we can hop on another call together.
Okay.
Because this is specific to the integration and I have to would need to share screens with you to see what
Yeah.
was exactly happening.
Yes. Gotcha.
Okay.
Do you
I'll
want me
email
to
you
put
now with
my,
another Zoom
okay.
link.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'll pass it back to you, William and
Okay,
Rami.
yeah. If I think that was the only question, so we can. I think we can stop it now. I think we can adjourn and then we'll pass out the recording and make sure that everyone sees it. But thanks so much, Marlo, for joining. Great question. And we have Marmy. Thank you so much for a great presentation. Everyone, this is the contact information for Rami and Dignotion. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what they offer and how they can help you with your marketing needs, a couple QR codes on the screen for you. So thanks again.
Thank you very much.